Here's another great example of why I call this symmetry group this way, that way. This tessellation is by the master artist M.C. Escher from 1955. It's not the easiest thing to locate the glide reflection lines on an existing tessellation. The red line flips the swan by the middle of the beak. The beak swivels left and right, left and right. Those white and yellow arrows show the basic movement. As for the other glide, parallel and in between, these green lines seem more or less to cross the middle of the front wing's edge. This is a photograph of M.C. Escher's drawing, so the grid is a bit skewed and imprecise. Don't let that throw you off. We will be redrawing it in Kaleido Paint. Here, the first part of the magic sentence, link the same spot on a glide, further along the same glide with a wandering line. Let's start at the top of the beak on the red line and follow the swan's outline all the way down to the same spot. And now repeat the line with animation. When I used to do tessellations by hand, I would use a cardboard cutout for this part of the work. In this symmetry operation, if by hand, you would flip the cardboard through a vertical, that's the mirror part, and shift it down the line, that's the glide part. Here, the second part of the magic sentence. Then link with the second line, line 1 to line 1, anywhere to anywhere, but it's got to be across the second glide. The yellow line follows this magic sentence, cuts across the second glide guideline, the green one. I have no idea where Escher read or saw such symmetry rules, but we can definitely accomplish it in an easier way today, with magic sentences and a bit of creative intuition. I learned quite a bit with Peter S. Stevens' book, Handbook of Regular Patterns, MIT Press. He supplies the same tricks in a similar fashion. Symmetry Group PG. You can change the notation with this menu. For our class, it should be set at crystallographic, if you're following along with me. Here's the old and new menu, divided in a slightly different way. I'm using my iPad in a vertical mode, as the realign function for this symmetry group defaults as such, and it's easier to animate if the view doesn't shift around for you. We have the grid on and placed a starting point to guide our work. The first line, always the most difficult, but the most pertinent too. It follows the first part of the magic sentence. Link the same spot on a glide, further along the same glide with a wandering line, from the top of the beak to the top of the beak. The second line, the second part of the magic sentence. Link with the second line, line 1 to line 1, anywhere to anywhere, but it's got to be across the second glide. Both of those lines are quick approximations for now. Then the tweaking starts. Remember, there are two sides to the line. What you remove from one side shows up on the other. It's a constant back and forth to try and get a perfect line. Trial and error. It takes a while. And a bit of intuition. Not the easiest shape to work with. We'll get there. It just takes time. Tweak, tweak, tweak. Taller swans than Escher's. I think I need to squish the grid a bit. The distance between the glides is the aspect ratio in this instance. M.C. Escher would have drawn all this by hand, making a decision, possibly by intuition, possibly by calculation, based on the type of swan posture he wanted to draw. Ah, much better. I had assumed it was a square grid, but it's a rectangle. This symmetry system can be skewed. In KaleidoPaint, this was accomplished with the 3-finger gesture on the iPad in the old version, but the new version has a slider for this option, found under the symmetry icon. Try sliding it back and forth. You can use the undo key to reset it to what you had. Yes, this works for me. The grid could probably be squished some more, skewed some more. Here is my recolored version done in Pixelmator. You could use Procreate or Photoshop as well. Now go out and try yourself on the iPad with KaleidoPaint. You can rewind the video and pause it when necessary to follow along. Quite a bit to learn here.